KaiJune.
Hey guys, it's Ryne from the Moon is Dead World here. Today for KaiJune we're not tackling any Godzilla movies. We're going to take on Gamera because I have the Gamera Ultimate Collection and I'm also covering that for KaiJune. So we're taking on Gamera Volume 1 of the Ultimate Collection, and this is just Gamera, the giant monster from 1965. So this one is actually about a giant turtle. Gamera is a giant turtle who is first found in the Arctic after an A-bomb is dropped and sort of awakens him from his slumber for so many years in the ice. After that, a group of 3 individuals, Dr. Hidaka is one of the main characters of Gamera, and he's studying Gamera apparently when he's awoken from his slumber. And he's a zoologist who apparently takes a liking to giant turtles. Along with him is his partner in research, Kyoko, and also a photographer for a journalist for a newspaper named Aoyagi, who is luckily not a part of the casualties when Gamera is first awakened in Alaska. After that, Gamera travels to Japan, where he begins to just do a whole bunch of damage, and everyone's not really sure why, because one little boy who has a giant interest in turtles, he actually has a really tiny one that he's been keeping around for him and bringing to school. The kid's name is Toshio, and he's actually really attracted to Gamera, even though it's a giant turtle and he's a little bit scared of him. So Gamera actually saves Toshio from falling off of a lighthouse, and after that Toshio is so taken with Gamera that throughout the entire film he tries to save Gamera from everything that the scientists, including Dr. Hidaka, are trying to do to Gamera to actually get him to stop attacking Japan. What that means is that Toshio gets really annoying, and he actually just tries to stop Dr. Hidaka from whatever he's doing. So at one point Gamera is being led to this island, Oshima Island, where Dr. Hidaka is going to do the last-ditch effort to get rid of Gamera, called the Z-Plan. Toshio is calling to him from the island saying, "Don't come here, Gamera, don't come here." At another point, they're feeding Gamera a whole bunch of oil canisters and oil tankers because Gamera feeds on fire. That's like his sustenance. That's basically his drive throughout the film. Well, Toshio is so attracted to Gamera that he just feels that he should get on an oil tanker, ride it to Gamera, who is busy blowing them up, and try to get Gamera to either stop attacking or basically just befriend him. It doesn't work out as planned. They miraculously survive an oil tanker explosion, which is unprecedented. I don't know if anyone else has survived anything so explosive right next to them, right in their face. But the long story short, Toshio is a pretty annoying character throughout, and fortunately the film only covers him in the last half of the film. Other than that, Gamera focuses on Dr. Hidaka, who actually has some pretty interesting ideas on how to get rid of Gamera. One of them is to attract him with fire, and then try to hit him with some bombs that are made to freeze him, just enough so that they can actually try to destroy him. But it doesn't work out, but it's a good idea. And the other one that is his master plan is to send him off into outer space, send him to Mars with a giant rocket ship. And that is the one thing that actually does end up working. The only thing I question is, how the hell did they get a rocket big enough to send a gigantic turtle out into space? But I guess if you're questioning that, then you probably shouldn't be watching a movie about a giant turtle to begin with. As for the kaiju carnage in this movie, there's not a lot. Part of that's because it was made in 1965, so there's not as much. There are not as many action sequences. Not very many buildings in this one. So I'm gonna forgo the normal thing that I normally do with the image in the middle of this piece and just lay it out straight. He destroys about 9 buildings, 1 jet, 1 ship, which is right in the beginning of the movie, a couple cars, and at least 3 oil tankers that we see. The rest of it is either off camera or he just doesn't do it, which is not surprising. Gamera actually doesn't really go into the city that much, and some buildings are attributed to him when he causes a giant tidal wave from the Tokyo Bay, but other than that we don't really see a lot on camera. Another thing that's really great is that there's a lucky volcano explosion right at the end of the film. It just comes out of nowhere, just like the tsunami that kind of just comes out of nowhere right at the end, or typhoon. A lot of these things happen in the film just because they need to happen, and that's part of one of the downfalls of having a giant monster movie, where you need to depend on something to create action sequences. In this case, they are Mother Nature sort of like attacking the citizens. Volcano is lucky for them, the typhoon not so much, because it actually quells all of the fires that they have made to try to get Gamera lured into Oshio Island. But other than that, it's not a bad film. It definitely feels dated now that you're seeing it, especially, I don't know if it's just coming from the Godzilla Toho movies, 90s, but it feels a little bit dated. Sure, that's the case, but it is, sometimes Gamera looks a little bit better in this movie back in the 1960s than Godzilla does in the Toho films. It might be the black and white, or it could just be that Gamera has some cooler features, like his shell and the ability to fly based on his powers of like going inside his shell and spitting out fire and spinning his shell around. On the Gamera Ultimate Collection disc, it has 4 of the Gamera movies on one disc, but for this one it does have the Japanese with English subtitles, and on this disc it's pretty funny because the Japanese people sometimes speak English. It doesn't come out very well often, and on this one they thankfully give us a subtitle of what they're saying in English, even though they are speaking English, because it is sometimes hard to make out exactly what they mean when they say it. So that's kind of a funny thing that comes up within the movie. But other than that, not a lot of special features on this disc either. I haven't actually tackled the other 3 movies yet, and I didn't really explore the disc all that much, but I don't think there's anything on this disc at all besides just the 4 movies. And then the second collection, I'm going to assume, is the same way, but they did package it pretty nicely, and the menu itself looks pretty good. Other than that, though, again, just like the Godzilla ones, there's not any special features to speak of. But I hope you enjoyed this first installment of Gamera for KaiJune. I think tomorrow I'm going to tackle the second film on this collection, and then we'll head back into Godzilla territory again. We got about, I'm gonna take a guess and say 12 more movies to cover for KaiJune, so it's going to be a long week, and I'm going to have about 12 more video reviews up for you. So stay tuned, and again, enter to win this copy and the Ultimate Collection Volume 2 by subscribing to the email subscription newsletter through MailChimp. And on the site, moonisdeadworld.net, I do have the subscription link up because I can't put it in this YouTube video, but I am going to link the moonisdeadworld.net here so that you can click on over and just fill out the subscription list. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of KaiJune.